So today we're taking a walk around Cold Spring, New York. It's a town that's close to where I live. It's right on the Hudson River. That's what you can see here. And we have the Sony RX1R Mark III with us today. So Lightroom doesn't yet have support for the RAW files coming out of this camera. So we're actually just gonna shoot in JPEG. But I figured this is a good opportunity to mess around with some of these creative looks. So there's film 1, film 2, film 3. Not a lot of options, and certainly nothing like, you know, what Fujifilm has to offer, or honestly even Nikon for that matter. But we're gonna give it a shot and kind of see what they look like. So this is a good time to check out the different focal lengths. So, you know, they're not really focal lengths, it's just a crop. So you can go 35, 50, or 70 mil. I don't know exactly what the megapixel difference is between these, but I'll flash them on screen once I find out. I am shooting in aperture priority though, so pretty much I'm not too worried about exposure. I'm just dialing in the compensation here and there. Yeah, I like that. It's kind of nice. So you can see here, my shutter speed is flashing. That means my shutter speed is maxed out. So the kind of crappy thing about this camera, honestly, is that it uses a leaf shutter, which has its advantages. It's very quiet. A leaf shutter is built into the lens, and it uses a series of blades that kind of close in a circular pattern, very similar to how an aperture works. The downside is your shutter speed is severely limited. So wide open at f2, my shutter speed is maxed out at 1/2000, which isn't very fast, especially if you want to shoot wide open in broad daylight, kind of like I'm doing now. So to get around that, you either have to use an ND filter, or you have to change your aperture to let in less light. And the funny thing is, when you do that, you can see that the shutter speed, the max shutter speed, has actually increased. So as you dial up your aperture, your max shutter speed will actually increase. So right about here, looks like it's decent enough. We're still a little bit overexposed, but. So I'm gonna switch over to 70 mil just to see what the quality of these crops are like. Let's see. I will say I do like how this Film Look 3 handles blues, at least how it looks on the back of the screen. It's very similar to how I handle blues in post. It's a pretty house. So this camera does have a macro mode function. You could turn this little ring on the lens and yeah, you get a macro mode. Maybe test that out a little bit. Oh, look at that. Climbing the mast or whatever you want to call that thing. That is pretty cool. I'll punch in the 70 so you can get any kind of interesting composition here. It's a little messy, but let's see. We have a little bit of a prettier foreground here. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer right here just to see if they start to climb again. In the meantime, I will see what kind of composition I like. I don't mind this here. It's not great. Something like that is actually a little bit better, going wide. You know, I will say, I really like how the film level 3 or the film look 3 on this is handling the blues. I'm a big fan. It's giving kind of a cyan cast to them, which is typically how I like to tweak things in post anyway, so big fan of that. All right, so it looks like the second person on board is starting to climb. So this might be the opportunity coming up right now. I really want them to kind of like pull away from the netting so you could really see that there are people on this thing. But we'll see. These guys might be up there for a while, so I guess we got what we got here. I think one of the biggest secrets of street photography is patience. A lot of times you'll just be standing there waiting for somebody to walk across a shadow or something like that. And you know, what's the opportunity cost of standing there waiting for the shot versus, you know, moving on and maybe getting 3 more shots in that amount of time? It's also worth noting that this is the first time I'm out shooting with this camera properly. And when I say properly, that doesn't mean anything other than the fact that I'm dedicating time to shoot photos with this. Properly is a different question. I'm sure I'm making mistakes with exactly, you know, how this camera is intended to be used as far as all of the new settings in here. There's like this, you know, side swipe menu and that kind of stuff. I didn't go through customizing any of these buttons or dials to how I normally shoot, so I'm kind of just figuring things out in real time. It's a nice car. Wow, look at all these bees. They're loving this stuff. So it's been about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes or so. I started with a full battery and we are at 3%. But yeah, some of the trade-offs you get with a super small, compact, lightweight setup, no flip LCD screen, pretty small battery, no IBIS, which is pretty disappointing. And an internal ND would have been nice considering we're dealing with a leaf shutter here and our shutter speed is severely limited. But yeah, that's a wrap.